Which Side Podcast is a proud member of the Which Side Media Collective.
Happy anniversary. You thought I forgot. What'd you get me? I'll tell you later. Ooh. Ooh la la. I don't remember. I actually got you the same outfit that Gwen Stefani wore on their very first tour. Oh, it smells. Yeah, it does. And it's also just an outfit that you can buy at Build-A-Bear. Really? I don't get it. It's tiny. She always wore like the skimpiest, like.
The Build-A-Bears wear skimpy tank tops.
They're just very small. It's a
I
play on
got
how
it.
The size
I was being a
of
dick. We made it a year.
Are you going bananas?
Banana-
B-A-N.
Banana Republic. Oh, we're not talking about clothes anymore?
No.
Oh, my bad. Express for men.
Jesus Christ. I can't believe we made it a year. Especially acting like this.
Yeah, our first intro was much better.
Yeah, but I get fucked up.
Yeah. Way to not record.
Yeah, just your line didn't for some reason.
You just should have played yours.
We heard it for a second and it's like me going, boop, boop.
I think we were like sing along to No Doubt over here.
I don't know the lyrics. Come on. Pick it up right now.
Right now?
Yeah. When do they say spider webs?
I think this is a story, but leave a message and I'll call you back. I think that's the part it was on right then.
We need to go to karaoke night sometime.
Oh, por qué, way?
Yeah, because your family is all about that shit. Oh.
Yeah?
So what's going on?
Well, I've got a new job. Oh, in events.
Sure. Just kidding. Well, I want to thank all the members who signed up for our membership drive for the month of October.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are fucking awesome.
You are.
So right now, if you want to become a member, it's back to the full price of $50 a year or $5 a month. If that's a little too pricey for you, hit us up. We'll
discuss the terms.
We'll discuss the terms. I'll do anything for hugs.
I'll do anything for... Well, let's just not talk about
Let's just not talk about that.
Yeah.
You can get all that information at whichsidepodcast.com.
.com.
Yeah.
Which we need to renew.
We do. We need more money. But, well, hit that road when it comes this month. Fuck.
Because it's our year anniversary.
It is our year anniversary.
Yay.
Now we have website fees.
Oh,
Yay.
fuck.
Yeah.
And then,
If anyone wants to know, it costs a good chunk of change to have a website.
let's see. The renewal fee is $118.20.
Yep, that's what we need.
That's just for the...
Just the
hosting.
website.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh well. God damn it. I need like a rich uncle to die and give me all his money.
Rich Munkle money bags.
Yeah.
Munkle.
Yeah. Do you know anyone?
My uncles aren't rich. In fact, I would probably say I would inherit their debt, if anything. That sucks.
Yeah, that does
Too
suck.
bad.
Anyways, thank you guys.
Yeah.
And you guys members will get extra bonus content every week.
It's a good one this week.
It is a good one this week.
Talk about things
And stuff.
and word working
And stuff.
and stuff.
Yeah.
What was the good part?
What's this part?
It's the end.
Do they say anything?
Oh, really? It's a good little exit, though.
I like how you're grooving.
Oh, yeah.
Should we just go right to the end?
I think we should.
Let's go all the way to the end, baby.
Ja. A raggedy muffin, a blueberry muffin. My dog is named Muffin. I brought to you a muffin.
So is Gwen still with Bush guy?
No, that's my dog.
I'm hearing yes from the women behind us.
All right, enjoy the show.
Makes no sense to me. So you watched BlackFish? Well, sort of.
Yeah, it was on CNN, so we recorded it. And I want to see it. I wanted to see it in theater. I just didn't have the opportunity because, you know, when a documentary comes out, even if you can see it online for free or whatever, I'd like to support them if I can.
Yeah, totally.
I just didn't have an opportunity, so I wanted to record it on CNN, and then it stopped recording halfway through because somebody else had to record something.
Oh, didn't they have to record toddlers and tiaras?
I really don't know what it was, but it probably something stupid like that. Because I record over at my parents' house because that's just what you do.
Yeah, totally. I don't have CNN anymore, so I didn't have an opportunity to record it. Aw, you guys kissed.
Buy my...
But no, yeah, not having paid TV anymore. I don't get any of that fancy stuff.
It's not a big deal. There's a...
So what'd you think of the first half? Like, what went on? Did you learn that orcas are in captivity and it's fucked up?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah. It was pretty interesting. Like, there's probably like a dozen or more trainers that are talking on that, like ex-SeaWorld trainers, and then also Sealand, where Tilikum first was. And
what
then
the fuck is Sealand?
Sealand was this piece of shit little place that that's where Tilikum first came from.
That's one of the orcas.
Yeah, Tilly's the one that's killed people.
Okay.
And that's pretty much what the documentary's about.
Just about that one orca?
Pretty much.
That's what the focus is, but it's the overall.
Yeah. It's.
Okay.
I mean, there's a strong message that orcas shouldn't be in captivity.
Do they go so far as to other marine life, or are they pretty focused on orcas there?
It seems so far it's just orcas.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't really even get into that at all, right? It's pretty much focused on just Tilikum. Like what I think is what I'd say. Like his they got the guy that captured the orcas, you know, and they used to throw bombs in the water to get them and stuff like that. And he said that like they were surrounding the boat when they captured them, like the rest of the orcas, because they only get the small ones, the babies, because they're cheaper to ship back, and
makes sense.
They're more docile and they can raise them from that point. And so he said that he knew it was wrong. They were watching him and he started crying on the deck even, but he didn't stop doing what he was doing. But and then
it's just like people who you'll be like, yeah, I took my kid to the zoo and man, it's super sad. But they don't fucking stop going. Like,
well, this guy, like, I kept saying that. I'm like, all the people that are on this documentary, everything they say is like, I shouldn't have done it. It was wrong. Like every person that they're interviewing, and that's like the owner of these captive. They're like, we kept them in captivity, and during the night, the orcas would attack each other. Like they would.
Or orca, I don't know. I mean, I don't know much about orcas. Are they territorial like that? Or I thought
they're very social.
That's what I thought. I thought they were in pods usually.
But they're mixing and matching orcas from different regions and different bioregions and everything else like that. And and there's a huge dominance, and it's a very maternal creature. And so, like the women are in charge, and the female. Or like the males kind of just want to stay back, but Tilly was so big that he could never really stay back, and they pick on him all the time, and he was constantly bullied.
He was picked on because he was big?
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and he couldn't stay out of because he was so big, he couldn't stay out of the way. And in small confined places, you're just big. And
yeah.
And so when he were like first place he was at that Sealand, they kept him in like these metal crates that were maybe as big as your kitchen, but then deep. And so they were like,
so they could go like vertical up.
Yeah, they could.
But they couldn't really.
They were like 30 feet deep, not even that deep. So, you keep a few orcas in there. There's not a lot of movement that can go on. 2/3 of their life, that's where they're staying.
My kitchen's fucking teeny.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't imagine. That's literally only going up and down. There's no, like, horizontal movement.
Yeah, there may be, like, a couple feet of horizontal movement. Maybe they can turn around. I don't know. They looked pretty tiny, though, to me. They look like... They honestly look like the size of an orca and then height.
So basically like a small swimming pool, but fucking deep.
Yeah. 30 feet deep. That's not really that deep.
No, it's not really that deep. I
But-
couldn't ever dive 30 feet, though.
And so, what would happen is as soon as they closed them off, the Tilly was with 2 females, and they would rake them, is what they call, where they grind the teeth on the back. And so they have all these, they come out bleeding and scarred and stuff like that.
So hold on, the trainers grind their teeth down?
No, the other orcas will take their teeth and grind it across the other orcas' backs.
Oh,
and,
okay,
and
sorry.
bodies and stuff, and they'll cause gashes and they'll bleed out and stuff like that. And so every time that he went in there, they would constantly just attack him, and then they had to start segregating him because he was just bullied so often.
Uh-huh.
And so we started isolating him, and people think that maybe that's what caused like his psychosis and like his collapsed dorsal collapses. Despite what SeaWorld says, like it only happens in like 1% of wild orcas.
Okay, this is what I always thought about this, and this is why I learned when I was younger with Free Willy. Okay, was that in captivity they collapse, but it does not happen in the wild, and it happens to virtually every orca in captivity.
Yeah, pretty much every. I want to say male orca. I'm not sure though. I think
that's what I remember from Free Willy.
Yeah, and it's not a common thing. They'll say it happens often, and a whole bunch of other lies.
And they don't know. Do they? They don't really know why, right?
I'm not sure. I think
because again, my knowledge from Free Willy was at that time they didn't know why.
Yeah,
literally, all of my knowledge from orcas come from Free Willy.
Well, Free Willy is actually based around Tilly, Tillicum, Willy. So Tilly, Willy.
Okay. Well, because I always thought that the orca that played Willy was eventually released back into the wild.
It was.
Okay.
From what I understand.
Okay.
And there was such an outcry from it. I don't think that any of the future films actually had a real.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But I don't know. I don't remember too much about it
either.
So fucking long ago. But yeah, like I always think it's amazing. So you take like a movie like Free Willy, which gets acclaimed reviews at the time, and everyone loves it. It's a great children's movie. Yet it's the fucking ALF.
Yeah.
I mean, how else can you say stealing an animal and releasing it back into the wild is not like that doesn't fall into the animal liberation front?
I love that. I love all those movies. Project X, Hoot even was one of those like environmental ones that was they were trying to save owls in the trees. And,
yeah, I mean it's crazy.
Stopping tractors.
Project X, if you guys haven't seen it, it's on Netflix right now. I highly recommend watching it. It's fucking real. Like the only difference, to my knowledge, besides the obvious spoiler alert, if you haven't watched the movie from 1984, that in the real life they were never actually like released.
Yeah,
and then the flight simulators were a lot simpler that the Air Force used. Mm-hmm. They weren't quite as grandiose as the movie portrays them. It was more or less a balancing board that they forced to tilt, which the book Animal Liberation by Peter Singer goes into. So if you haven't read that, get on your shit, man.
Free the Animals is also a good book, even if it's written by Ingrid Newkirk.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I did a report on it in high school.
It's
Valerie, right?
Yeah, Valerie.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I want to say that there's something to do with the Air Force in that, too. I can't remember.
Shit.
I can't remember.
I think so. I think I
could be mixing up books, but either way,
so.
it's a good one.
It is a good. I highly recommend it to people, especially like people who are getting in their formative teenage years. 14, 15. It shows you what like true compassionate people can do and achieve and get you like fucking stoked.
Yeah.
Yeah. I read it now and I'm jaded and I'm like, fuck Ingrid. But yeah.
Yeah. I was talking with somebody from PETA,
And I don't really mean fuck Ingrid. Like, I want to be clear on that. I don't agree with everything like PETA does, but I do think PETA does good and has done a lot of good, especially.
has served its place.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody from PETA, and they said that they'd be on. I was told them that we wouldn't be easy on them too,
Yeah.
and they said they'd be on because they. I don't know. I think
Looks like your
Good for
microphone's
PETA.
tilted funny.
it does.
So you have to like.
I wonder if you can hear
sit
me.
Odd. I can hear you.
Hello. Okay.
Like tilt it this way. Like the whole base, like the whole spider. Like it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it looks like it's tilted. Yeah, there you go. And now put it back in front. Yeah, there.
Da-dum, dum, da-dum, dum.
Yeah, I had to mess with mine too. I don't know.
Maybe it was moved by little children.
Maybe little children.
It was your daughter's birthday
It was my daughter's birthday.
on Halloween.
Okay, so you got it?
Yep.
Sweet. Thank you. That was bugging the shit out of me. I was just wanting to make sure it was all set for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, PETA.
Yeah. So we should get him on. That'd be interesting.
Is it somebody who is authorized by PETA to talk? I don't want to get anyone in trouble.
I asked him. I said, would you get in trouble for talking? He said, no, I shouldn't.
Okay.
So that's that.
I fully commend anyone who works for PETA. Like honestly,
Dude, I'd do it. It's animal rights.
I would do it if I could pay my bills by working there.
Exactly. Yeah. If I made enough to actually live, I could.
Yeah, I mean,
Like I understand that a lot of activists they'll all live in the same house and work for PETA, and they can pull that money together to pay rent.
yeah, and you
That
know,
works.
bravo to them. Like honestly, like
Totally.
I'm not putting them down for it. Yeah, unfortunately, PETA doesn't pay extremely well, but
But it's also an organization. So
yeah, it's also
You're
nonprofit.
doing it
I'm not
because-
I'm not putting it down. I'm just saying,
Mhm.
it's why I've never worked there, never even tried.
I've never worked for an organization paid. That's just weird to me. It's not weird to me. Like the concept isn't weird to me. If you're putting all your time and effort in that organization, obviously, you should compensate yourself if you have to.
I don't even think it's an if have to. I think if you want to make sure you have mid-level talent, you have to at least pay somewhat. I mean, people have to fucking pay their bills. Like,
Yeah.
People will volunteer and do so much, but how much more can you get done by actually having competent people?
Exactly. Yeah.
So
So not having to retrain people all the time and
yeah,
everything else that
being
goes
able
into,
to maintain your message consistently.
Yes.
I mean, volunteers are a very hard way of maintaining a message on any issue.
Yes.
So yeah, no, I get it. I totally get it. I would be a huge advocate for paying more for nonprofits, even, but distributing it evenly so it's not a top tier down system.
Yes.
That's just the anarchist in me, I guess. But
Mari's been wanting to do activist stuff a lot more lately.
like, what kind of stuff she wants? She actually want to go to
Let's
protests and
protests
stuff.
and stuff. And
She's never had an opportunity to do that, though, right?
not really. I'm down to. I'm just so fucking jaded.
Yeah.
Because having that be like your life for however many years that I did it.
If
Like,
there was an issue strong enough, I would go.
yeah,
You know,
I've gone to protests that I feel are totally awesome, especially like large mass action, like things like where there's thousands of people. I feel that sets a message, and my body there is important because I'm one more person to add to that.
yeah.
And also on the other end where no one's there to speak. If I'm just one body out of zero, that's better than, on the other end.
No, yeah, totally. For me, I just haven't seen the big something strong enough for me yet.
And I think I think
Not that I'm putting anyone down.
no,
it's just
obviously not. I think
yeah.
protest.
I think they're great, and anyone who's doing it, my hat's off to you.
I think like
'cause I've
people
done
just
it
need to understand that we are jaded. We've done it so long.
I don't even know if it's what I call jaded. I just think that our priorities have changed. Our focuses of our activist focuses have changed. God, that's a long silence. So like even like what we're doing now, and how much time we spend trying to put this stuff out and create new content and create new things and promote, the things that we do. I would argue that we spend more time than most people who go to protests. Now, granted, you can call it armchair activism, you can, whatever, but it's just it's a change of focus. That's all it is.
I don't know. I really don't know how I did it. Like, I look back and I realized that when I was like running ADL out of Salt Lake, my house was the the office. The office.
Yeah.
And pretty much any time that I wasn't at work or school, it was strictly dedicated to animal activism.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
a friend would come over to hang out, and by hanging out, we were doing fucking research to find how to shut down the filthy scumbag next,
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like,
it's so encompassing. Like in a lot of ways, it makes you not understand real society, because you get so in your inner circle and only focused, and you don't see the outside world. At least that's what I noticed a lot.
Yeah.
What's happened to myself also, by living, in an office for animal rights and, having that be your entire focus. I mean, there was a time frame when we were protesting Loris Blanc where we were trying to do 24/7 protests. Well, not 24/7, every hour they were open. And so, it was, if you're not working, you're either at the office trying to get people there or you're there. That was the entire life for months. There was nothing else.
They're gone.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know what happened.
I think they died.
I think they died too. That's the only thing I can think of.
Or one of them died, or yeah. I hope it was Mary. Or I should say,
I don't know.
Her name's Majuba.
Majuba
Jepson. I really, I wish no ill will on anyone. Like, I don't want them to suffer, but I would not shed a tear if they just disappeared.
But then you have to
or
have
a second thought.
The backstory of fucking Majuba. She was terrible.
Yeah, and scary.
Scary, terrible. Yeah. She's the kind of person that didn't hide and cower when you're outside protesting. She's up in your face telling you she's going to kill you, and she knows where you live.
As she rips off your mask in front of your face.
Yeah.
Granted, we were burning an effigy in front of her house of her, but no, yeah, she was really scary. It was really an interesting campaign. I would like to say that the constant campaigns over the years forced them out, but unfortunately they were the kind of people that the more you pushed, the more they dug in.
And they were constantly in the red. And I'm
not saying that pushing wasn't a good thing. I think it was a great thing, because there was only one instance that we ever saw a customer go in the store and we got them to turn away. I don't know about your experiences there.
I've actually, my experience there, we had quite a few customers go in, and we don't think they were buying fur. I think it was more for fur cleaning and stuff like that.
And because they did storage also, right?
Yeah, stuff like that. But never did I have a customer turn away.
We only saw one and we turned them away. I think we scared them. They probably came back later.
Yeah.
But fuck, I don't care.
I think
like, if you're going to buy fur, you should be scared, you piece of shit.
For us, it was more of, I think either they were going in there to just fuck with us. And that happens a lot, but it's funny that they were so secure and weird there that you had to go in one door, ring a doorbell because their door is locked.
Yeah, sorry about that. That was our fault.
Then they had to come and unlock the door. They ask you why you're there, and then they'll let you in.
Yeah. Sorry.
Which is just a bad...
Well, I shouldn't say sorry, because it's fucking awesome that,
That's way awesome.
We did 2 lockdowns there, because and because of it, they had to spend less extra money to create the security.
Yeah.
So fuck it. I'm not sorry.
No, don't be.
But, yeah.
I was just surprised. Like, there was absolutely everything we could do, and they were constantly in the red. And We couldn't see that they were selling anything online, so we don't understand.
Yeah, we couldn't ever find an online presence for them.
And so we don't know how they were constantly in the red and constantly still
around.
Like 12 years in the red is not gonna keep any.
But then
business
again,
up.
the building they were in was full of a whole bunch of very affluential people.
Yes,
which means that they could have been either helping them or they could have been purchasing without ever like going in the front of the store. Like we would never know.
No, we actually got their records.
Well, I know. I'm just saying, like under the table kind of helping.
Okay,
like
that makes sense.
Yeah, because
they share a building with a prophet.
Yeah, someone who speaks directly to God on a daily basis. True. This is true.
This is not. I mean, besides the fact that it's somebody that speaks directly to God.
He says he speaks directly to God.
Yeah. Okay. Let's clarify.
And other people believe he speaks directly to God.
And those other people have more money than the Catholic Church?
Yeah, the Mormon Church, I believe, I could be wrong on this, is the richest church in the world right now.
Yeah.
I might be off. I might be in the top 3 or something, but it's fucking amazingly rich.
I was reading somewhere. That's why I say that.
If we could get anarchists to contribute the way Mormons contribute, we would fucking take over the world in a week.
The way that the Mormons contribute is it's very...
This is how we do it. This is what we need to do. We build clubhouses in every major city in the world. And in these clubhouses, it's just fucking awesome. Awesome all the time. Just pure awesomeness.
We learn handshakes?
Yeah, you will have a secret handshake that you get in. But to go, you have to donate X amount of your income to an anarchist organization. Period. That's the only fucking way. Like, if you don't donate to an anarchist organization, you can't fucking go to this awesomest club in the fucking world where you learn a secret handshake and do amazing, awesomely secret fucking things.
On the other side of town.
Yeah. It's where all the cool kids go to hang around.
Yeah. And talk bad about the other kids.
Of course.
Yeah.
And you're not a part of it.
Unless you donate to that.
Unless you donate.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's just think, I think 10% is a little much. We'll settle for 5.
7.
Even
7.
I would even settle for 5%. Right? We'd be so fucking loaded. We could do whatever we needed to redistribute that income to help poverty, to make sure that everyone is fed, to make sure everyone has shelter. Like, we could fucking take over the world.
The problem is that the way that the Mormon Church has so much income is that, well, not only
it's not the material things here, like, oh, you can go to the temple. Mm-hmm. It's because they believe you can't get into the highest level of heaven without doing it.
Yes.
Now, how do we convince anarchists that?
You volunteer at the Mormon food shelter or I'm gonna give them credit. They have a lot of fucking awesome
Their
things.
welfare is pretty good.
Yeah.
I'll give them that.
Like, if you take the Mormon Church and take God out of it and everything else, the way that they have like their socialist structure is pretty fucking cool.
My only criticism about how they have it set up is that in order to get any of the welfare that they have, which includes counseling, which includes medical expenses, I mean, it's fucking everything that you can imagine, right? Mm-hmm. You have to get it approved by your local bishop, which is be like your priest, right? So it's up to the priest or the bishop whether or not you get your they'll help you pay your bills. They will give you free food. They will give you free diapers. They will give you, and if a bishop's like, well, I haven't seen you at church, Sally, he can say no. Or he can be like, I've never seen you at church, Sally. Maybe this can help you and you might become interested in this. And he could say yes. Yeah. It's all up to that one fucking individual.
When I was going through a lot of my prison stuff, I needed counseling, but I didn't have any income. And so, like, as a last ditch effort, I went to my parents to ask them if maybe the church could provide counseling, because I know that I've had friends that have done that.
Yeah.
And I went in. No, they knew I was an atheist. The bishop of the church even knew I was an atheist.
Yeah.
They still offered it, but I had to pay. And I'm like, why would I go through your church counseling if I had to pay?
See, so it's just like that. Another bishop might have said, okay.
Yeah, another bishop might have said, well, you'll come back to the church, and by doing this, you're coming to me. It just depends on the bishop. And also, like, a lot of bishops are, well, your family is LDS, so by default, we help you.
Yeah.
It just depends on the bishop.
It completely depends. That's my only criticism not, I shouldn't say my only criticism, but that's my biggest criticism about how they run their social structure. If you live anywhere else in the country, though, I hear they're pretty lax on helping people who aren't members. Like if you go and ask, they're pretty good about just saying, yeah.
That makes sense.
Because if someone's, have the humility to come and ask for help, they probably really fucking need the help.
Yeah.
There might be some...
An atheist asking a fucking church for help is funny.
That is funny.
But I didn't have any money. Whatever.
So, speaking about that, I wanted to talk about this. Because every time I talk about it, I get so many conflicted emotions and feelings. The Affordable Care Act.
Obamacare,
or formerly known as Obamacare, right? As an anarchist, what the fuck? Like, what's your stance on the Affordable Care Act?
It's not going far enough.
Okay. Do you stand behind it? Will you argue that it's a good thing towards people, or do you say, oh, it's a fucked up thing because I wish it went further, or do you just kind of keep your mouth shut about it?
I don't know.
I get really conflicted.
I'm not
about it.
compassionate about it enough to have
a
strong opinion either way.
Yeah, I'm not like super. I've just, it's been in the news so much, and I keep thinking about it. Like, as an anarchist, I don't believe the government is the best way of organizing for the people, right? So that in of itself, I think it makes it flawed.
Yeah.
Right. But I do believe that healthcare should be a right for everyone.
Yes.
Which the Affordable Care Act doesn't really do, but it's a baby step towards.
Yeah.
So like I have this weird confliction where it's like, okay, do you support this or do you combat it because it doesn't go far enough, and then you end up keeping it and making it worse for other individuals? Possibly.
Yeah.
It's really upsetting to me.
Well, it's already passed.
Yeah. I'm just saying the supporting of it aspect.
It's I don't know. It's one of those things that I think that healthcare is something that everyone should have. It's just if you're sick or you're dying, you need help. You don't fucking watch somebody die. You help them.
Well, my whole thing is that people shouldn't be profiting off of whether or not people live or die.
Yeah.
Right. That's, to me, is just even if you live in a capitalist society like we do, that crosses the fucking line.
Oh yeah.
And
it's gotten to the point. That's why pharmaceutical companies, besides all the fucked up shit that they do with animal testing and the environment and everything else, it's just one more thing.
In my ideal world, when I picture a true anarchist society, I believe that healthcare would be one of those things provided by the society for the society. Mm-hmm. That's because it's just something that everyone needs and it should be provided.
What about food?
Exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly the same thing, right? And the same thing with basic infrastructure. So what blows my mind is that most places in the United States, they believe that the basic necessities of infrastructure, electricity, water, gas, right, shouldn't be privatized. It should be run by the government. So they have a quasi privatized sector that's heavily monitored by the government. So they can't jack up prices, and they can't, and a whole bunch of other things. But it's a fucking free for all in healthcare.
Yeah,
makes no goddamn sense.
No.
If we pay for roads, and I've said this to a million fucking people, if you're willing to pay for roads because you think it's good for society, why the fuck won't you pay for someone who has a heart attack? Because roads are more important for that person than their fucking heart? Doesn't make any sense to me.
Why should I care about that person?
Because I know you're saying that as being, but the reality of it is that if everyone is cared for, you're cared for. You don't have to have that worry.
Exactly.
Ever. No one should have to have that worry that, if something bad happens that they can't afford or they'll go bankrupt because, right now I don't have health insurance.
Mm-hmm.
If I got in a car wreck, I'm royally fucked. I have car insurance, but that doesn't mean all my medical bills will be paid right away. What if I have to miss work for a while?
I forget that I don't have health insurance. I don't.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah. So what the fuck's going to happen? You're on that edge of, any major catastrophe could fuck your life
Oh yeah,
because you could never pay it back.
and you can't get insurance after the fact, which is also
Like, so you don't have insurance, so you're
Nope.
going to have to get insurance, otherwise you're going to be penalized under the
If
Affordable Care Act.
if I don't get insurance, I'm penalized. Yeah,
You penalized by tax, yeah.
Mhm.
But you'll qualify for a bunch of tax rebates, so it's
Mhm.
quote unquote affordable.
Yeah.
Right. But it's still to me asinine that I have to pay for insurance that's going to cost me anywhere from $300 to $600 a month, and then still have a huge deductible that I'm going to have to meet before any fucking healthcare is provided, which means I'm out thousands and thousands of dollars on a fucking whim.
Mhm.
Like, it makes no sense to me.
no.
Like,
I think insurance in general is
and that's
not the
it's
right step.
fucking profit. People are profiting off of it.
Yep.
People shouldn't be profiting off of the health of other people.
I don't agree with forcing.
Fire departments aren't for profit.
No, they're not.
What? Like, why the fuck is that more important?
I don't think that. I think insurance should be something that
It's a Ponzi scam, as far as I'm
is
concerned.
an option. When I'm betting and playing blackjack and I have insurance, it's something I do on a whim. It's a bet. I don't need to do that. They don't force me to take that insurance bet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Why do I have to? Why is somebody forcing me to have insurance? Does that make sense? Insurance should be something that you.
Are you talking
pay
about
for
like
to insure
health insurance or in other forms of
anything?
insurance?
Anything.
Yeah, I
You
believe
shouldn't
it
be
should
forced to insure yourself.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, I completely agree.
Because that's a way for them to make money, like you're saying. I think that's like, fuck, I can't verbalize what I'm trying to say, but
To me, it's a Ponzi scam,
yeah,
right? Because when you have insurance, the whole idea of insurance company is for profit, which means that anytime that they have to pay out, they're going to fucking fight it, which means that
Mhm.
even if you deserve for a payout, they're going to fight it
Yeah.
because they're for profit.
Mm-hmm.
It makes no sense. Like, if I get into a car accident and it's my fault, then yes, I should be held liable.
Yeah.
Which, insurance takes that liability away from you.
Mhm.
Now, if I get into a car wreck and it's not my fault and it's just circumstantial,
Mhm.
then yeah, that's just fucking life, people.
Mhm.
But if you didn't have if you had health care covered, all you're doing is vehicular damage, which sucks because cars cost so fucking much. But
Mhm.
yeah, I lost my train of thought.
All I think is that it should be an option to pay for insurance because that's what you're doing. You're basically ensuring that you don't do something.
Well, the only insurance that's not optional right now is healthcare, and most states automobile.
Yeah.
Like, if you have a driver's license, you have to have automobile insurance.
Yeah, I just think that the term of the word's even funny because that's exactly what you're doing. You're insuring against yourself.
Yeah, it's a bet.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
so why do I have to take that bet? Because if you fuck up, then you can always pay out.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway,
So, do you see any forms of insurance in an anarchist society?
not the way that we have it now.
I would think it all depend on how commerce is run in that society. Yeah.
I think that's why I say I'm not that passionate about this issue because I don't think it's going in the right direction. I think the right direction is free healthcare.
Yeah, I did too. I just hate hearing the ignorant people complain about healthcare and how it should be for profit.
Yeah, and that's
Like, they're hurting our profit margins. Like, fuck.
I'm not against it for the same reason that other people are against it, and I'm not for it for the same reason other people are for it.
It all blows my mind. I was talking to an attorney the other day at a birthday party, and he represents medical device companies. And he was telling me that when you go and get a medical device like a hip or a heart or whatnot, the cost of that device that goes back to those manufacturers is about 2% of what you actually pay, or the insurance company pays, like the total price is. The rest of it is all administrative and fees and taxes and everything else that's tacked on.
To who?
Like the hospital charges margins.
Okay.
The distributor charges margins.
Wow.
The government takes a fee now, a tax on it. But that just tells you how much of each step marks up everything. Yeah. That to me is fucking wrong.
Yeah, it is.
Like it's fucking sickening. So like, you know, if you pay $100,000 to get, you know, a new heart valve, you know, that's manufactured, you know, he's saying 2% of that is what the actual would be $2,000.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
so where's the other
$98,000 go? And I'm not to say that, like, you know, even in an anarchist society, the doctors have to live. They have to get their, you know, it'd be like everyone else. You know, I believe doctors, you know, same thing now. Yeah, they should be paid and they should, you know, but it's fucking ridiculous.
How would you think in an ideal anarchist society people should be paid? How, like, with incentives and all that other junk?
Ideally speaking or realistically speaking, because I think those are two different things for me.
Both.
I think a realistic step, because, well, let me start out. Just because it's an anarchist society doesn't make it the perfect society. Like, there will still be flaws and there'll still be things you have to work on. It's not like magically everything is fucking perfect, right? But I don't think that getting rid of currency in general will happen, at least at first. I do believe it'll be getting rid of a state-sponsored currency, right? But I do believe that people will still find a way to have a form of currency, right? And what I would like to see in an anarchist society is that everyone would be paid for their willingness to participate in said society, right? And that could be based on a whole bunch of different factors. You know, as far as I'm concerned, a society to run, it's just important to have a fucking garbage man to make sure that things is disposed of correctly, so you're not causing illness, as just to have a fucking doctor that will help treat the illnesses. Like, to me, they're fucking equal as far as what the importance to that society is, and they should be treated as such. And so things that are important to the society are what should be incentivized and pushed. So, you know, the infrastructure, the food, the growing of food, the manufacture of things for that society, but taking away the incentive of the capitalism aspect of it would mean that the society isn't functioning for consumption, which it currently is. It's functioning for optimal living, which would mean that it's a lot more downtime. It's a lot, you know, like, yeah, people would be working for the betterment of that society, but, you know, I don't know if that's making much sense. Like, it would just be the incentivized would be different. Like, the incentive of working and would be working for living, you know, to live your life, not working to gain more property.
Yeah,
I don't know if that makes sense. So I think that's more the most realistic stepping stone.
Makes sense.
You know, because, you know, we have a society that for the last, I mean, arguably 100 years or less has been strictly focused on consumption. You know, and I think once a society stops its focus on consumption, then you'll start seeing major changes. Not that you'll get rid of markets right away, not that, you know, anything else, but I think that's the major thing. People just need to not want to consume and grow so much.
Yeah. Oh, makes sense.
So what about yourself? I don't even know if I answered the question. Like,
yeah, kind of.
Oh, well, and like what I didn't say is, like, I also think, like, in the participation in society would mean, like, I think people should be paid to go and participate as far as, like, making sure community decisions are made. So, like, if there's a decision the community needs, it's incentivized to show up and, you know, voice your opinion and make sure that you're counted as that citizen. You know, so you could literally do nothing else in society but just participate in society and be able to survive. Does that make
Yeah.
But I wouldn't force everyone. Like, you have that opportunity, which means that, like, if you are the doctor and you are surviving because you are helping society that way, you don't have to show up to those meetings if you don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, your voice won't be heard, but that's your choice by opting out.
Mm-hmm.
But you also have the option of going, and that's incentivized, to actually go and participate in the discussions and the decisions that are made.
Maybe I missed this. Did you address whether certain, I guess, jobs or occupations should be incentivized more than others?
I think that would be based on completely by that individual society, that individual group,
Mm-hmm.
And their current needs. So, like, if they need more people growing food, I think that group would incentivize people learning how to be proper farmers, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if they need more, so I think that's how it would be incentivized,
Mm-hmm.
more than like, well, this profession's incentivized because of X, Y, and Z.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd just be whatever that community currently needs. Like, if you need more garbage, people picking up garbage, you need more plumbers, that's going to be incentivized more.
Yeah.
For that individual society. But by doing it where, people will make those decisions, people will do what they want to do,
Mm-hmm.
instead of just what they have to do.
And they have the ability to do what they want to do in my ideal society.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think the thing that we haven't talked about at all, I think the key is making sure that all opportunities are equal, means education is equal.
Yeah.
Right
now,
or I should say the opportunity for education is equal, meaning that school
Mm-hmm.
should not cost anything. Like, if you want to continue on and continue learning, you learn as long as you fucking want. I'm cool with that. As long as while you're learning, you're also helping participate in society, which would mean, like I was saying, you could go and partake in, like, the governing side, the decision making process and everything else of your local things, and that would give you enough to sustain yourself so you can focus on whatever else you want to.
I think that's something that people
And if you have no interest in that, you can just be doing something else that interests you.
Yeah.
That helps benefit society also.
And that's something that people don't really consider. Occupations, I mean, maybe some people consider it, but, it's a very privileged thing. A lot of occupations, you can't get into that occupation without having some sort of privilege behind you. In most circumstances, I think.
You're talking about, like, the occupies in, like, the United States and, like, westernized countries, right? You're not talking about occupied Palestine or
the occupations.
Yeah.
I'm talking about not occupations as in Occupy Wall Street or whatever, as in jobs.
Okay,
it's very privileged to
have an occupation. Okay,
Yeah.
I was thinking, like, occupy. Okay, I get
careers
you.
and that kind of occupation. And so, you come from, like, a low income, like, poverty stricken neighborhood. You're focused about getting money there and now. You can't a lot of times go to school. You can't afford to go to school, even with financial aid and FAFSA and stuff like that. You don't have the time to go to school and still support your family and do other things like that.
It's pretty fucking simple, right?
Uh-huh.
You don't even have to go, like, into low income. There's only so many colleges with so many seats.
Yeah.
They can't all be fucking, like, there's not enough colleges to educate everyone.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't exist. Right there, that tells you that there's inequality.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even need to go any further than that. Like, you know what I mean?
What I'm trying to get across is that definitely privilege has its hand in being able to
completely.
be who you want to be. You can't just, you grow up in a certain neighborhood, you want to be a doctor, most people just laugh at you.
Well, okay. I have a doctor in my family,
mm-hmm.
right? And I've had this discussion with him, and he's like, well, I worked really hard to come, which, granted, he did work hard to get where he is. But this is what I always try to tell him. You had somebody who paid for your entire education. You didn't have to worry about it. It's like, well, I had to get student loans for my doctorate. Okay, fine. You had to get student loans, but you had someone who was willing to co-sign for those student loans, who had enough income. And I know personally, when you guys had rough times, they paid your way completely, So you got a first-rate education for your undergraduate degree, completely paid for, without having to take out any student loans, without having to worry, having all of your bills paid for, all of your lodging paid for, not having to work. Like it was because of your privilege that you were able to work to get there. Like,
exactly.
And they don't get that. They don't fucking understand that. They're just like, well, I worked hard. Why can't other people work hard? Like, you don't understand that, like, it doesn't fucking work that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some people do, and I'm not saying that it can't happen, but it's such a minority that it happens to. There's not enough people. You cannot be whatever the fuck you want to be.
No. And that's the lie of the American dream.
Yeah.
You can be whatever you want to be in America.
No.
If you have the privilege to do so, yeah.
Yeah, and unfortunately, our generation is not going to supersede our parents' generation, which means we'll have less people leaving their current classes than previously before.
And I was thinking about it for myself, like, because the other day, just in my mind, I'm like, well, I got my education all on my own. I'm paying for it all on my own. Me being able to get this job that I just got. I was like thinking to myself, I was trying to justify it maybe, that I'm like, that wasn't an issue of privilege. I just, I did that all on my own. And then I'm like, no, but I'm fucking white. I had a lot of help with, rent, and like getting out of prison, I was able to stay with my parents for free.
Your family. Yeah.
Like a lot of this stuff that.
And you don't have the inherent, what am I looking for? What sort I'm looking for? Being a white male that is relatively, good educated, when you go in to talk to people, they automatically assume that you are granted a whole bunch more assumptions that are in the positive instead of someone who gets more assumptions. I don't know why the terminology, your perceived notions of being a white male going in for an educated job is way greater.
Yes.
And
that's ultimately what I told myself. I'm like, yeah, even if you did pay for like college yourself, the privilege of the fact that you're white is,
and that you didn't have to pay for all of your food and all of your shelter and your vehicles and like all of the other things. Those are huge privileges that were given to you. So sorry, dude. Yeah, you're fucking privileged.
I know. No, I know I am, and that's what I had to tell myself. It's like,
and I am too. Like, I'm not trying to sit here and say I'm not. I totally am. I don't live to the extent of my privilege, though, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, I totally. It's weird recognizing the things in your life that are just inherently part of the privilege that you can't even, go against. Just the whole patriarchal aspect of it.
I think I was more thinking about it because I'm thinking, like, how privileged am I? Like, my privilege compared to other people's privilege. Maybe I was feeling a little bit sorry for myself.
Are people more privileged than you? Yes.
Yes. Yeah. And that's obvious. But at the same time, I'm not going to deny that I'm not privileged. I'm obviously privileged.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of just the internal dialogue I had in my mind.
I mean, let alone just being an American.
Yeah.
American,
yeah.
I mean, like, take that. I would say your biggest privilege is being a male American.
That
even more so than being white.
And then, yeah.
And I'm not saying that's not huge. I'm just saying,
And then the fact that I'm white and I come from a, upper middle class family.
Yep.
Those are two more things that, just add on to that privilege.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's insane. Like, to me, it's really hard to completely comprehend the privilege of being an American sometimes. Like, we take it for granted so fucking much.
Way for granted. And something that's just baffled me is the whole process of just getting Mari to become an American citizen. Before this, I didn't realize how complicated it was. It's tough.
I mean, I don't know firsthand. I've just witnessed other people, and you're the closest person I know that I've witnessed doing it.
And we're doing it the fast way.
And it's fucking ridiculous.
Uh-huh.
Like, completely fucking ridiculous.
it's difficult. She can't even leave the United States right now. It's like, which is just
Don't fucking leave.
Yeah, it's like, all right.
We want you out, but once you get here, gotta fucking stay.
Yeah. So it's
No,
odd.
I still can't get over the idea that we draw imaginary fucking borders and why. Like, I get the idea that a long fucking time ago, people were worried that a neighboring group was going to come steal their food, or they were going to come steal like women because they didn't have enough. I get that.
Mhm.
Why the fuck do we do it now? It makes no logical sense.
Why we keep people out?
Yeah,
Or-
why we have these imaginary borders all over the fucking place. I'm not worried about Mexico coming in and trying to take over my house. I'm not fucking worried about it.
Yeah.
Like, I shouldn't be worried about it. Now, you could make the argument, well, you're not worried about it because we have a border there that's protected by an army, But if everyone's worried about that, and everyone just said enough is enough, there's no more worry.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm too idealistic. I don't know.
What would you do over in Palestine?
What do you mean, what would I do?
There's
Okay, how about this? Before 1947, people were getting along just fine. Why the fuck did it have to change? Like, the idea that a theocracy should exist is mind-boggling to me. And that it's sponsored by fucking everyone, in the United States, that you have to be called, anti-Semitic or racist if you disagree with it. It makes mind-boggling. It
if
blows
you support
my fucking
Palestine,
mind.
you're called anti-Semitic.
Yes, all the fucking time.
Yeah,
Because you're anti-Jew.
Yeah,
But I'm not anti-Jewish
not
people.
anti-Jewish.
I'm
people. You're
anti-God.
Anti-Israel invading Palestine.
I'm anti people taking over homes and kicking people out, and then
And I'm
bulldozing their homes and creating quote-unquote settlements.
Well, what about what Palestine does to Israel, Jeremy?
What about it?
That's my mocking voice. I can't think of the term.
No, what sucks, what's really bad about that situation, I'm not here to say I have like all the fucking answers, right? Or to say I completely understand all sides of the issue, right? What sucks today is that if you're born in either Israel, or you're born in like in the Gaza, or you're born in the West Bank, right? You're a fucking innocent child, right?
Yeah.
But on either side, you're born into a conflict, and that's going to shape your mentality, which means that it only is going to get worse.
Yeah.
Like it does. But I will say this, and I don't understand how you can't agree with me on this, but you can disagree with me, but you're a fucking idiot if you do, as far as I'm concerned. From the get-go, Israel was the aggressor. Period. Like, I can't find a justification for people to say that Israel hasn't been the aggressor from day one. Like, as far as I'm concerned, Israel was the aggressor. And to me, the aggressor should be the one that should be stopped. Like, it shouldn't be a complete compromise. I am for the complete abolition of Israel. Shouldn't fucking exist. As far as I'm concerned, like, fuck.
That's a strong statement, though, sir.
Like, I think a two-state settlement might be the most realistic option, right?
Okay,
but I still think it's wrong.
So wasn't I'm trying to remember the history of how that whole area was developed.
Okay, so like prior, and like I said, I'm not an expert on this, but this is my understanding of it. Prior to 1947, it might be 46, somewhere around there, right? We'll fudge the years a couple years either way, right? Somewhere it was pretty much an ungoverned area, right? No one really claimed it. Some countries said it was Jordan. Jordan didn't really want it, but they kind of, and it was quasi ungoverned, if that makes sense. And there was both quote unquote, Palestinians and Arabs and Jewish settlers. I don't want to call them settlers. There was a whole mix of people living there, and they were just fine. Like things, they were actually getting along. It wasn't like, this huge contention. But then they decided that after World War II, they needed a place for all the Jewish families, I guess, all the people that were uprooted because of Germany, right, and have a safe place for them not to be persecuted anymore. Yeah. So they decided that that's what they were going to fight for, and they created Israel. So they had to go in and then claim that land and then take it over and make sure it was a Jewish state, which means they had to kick people out who weren't Jewish. It means that I know that in one night, I believe it was the first night that they actually came in and tried to do this, by force, they came in and removed 60,000 Palestinian families by force. Just said, this is no longer your home.
Yeah.
Like, I could be, I know I'm leaving out a ton of details. I know I don't have all the dates right, but that's my general understanding of the origins.
Okay. So then if that's, that's kind of how I understood it too. I knew that it was an invasion, occupation.
Yeah, completely. And and until, like, this is what's interesting to me is like when people are like, well, they always use suicide bombers and stuff and they kill innocent people. Well, if you look at the actual death ratios on both sides, before suicide, like they used suicide bombers as a tactic, right, to fight the Israeli occupation. It was a 1 to 10 ratio, meaning that for every one Israeli that was killed, there was 10 Palestinians being killed. We're not talking like any commands. We're talking like just in general, right? So like if one Israeli soldier was killed, they had a policy of killing 10 Palestinians. They didn't fucking care if they were in the resistance or not. They don't discriminate. And it was because of suicide bombers, at least the last figure I know of, they had dropped that figure to like 1 in 6, I believe, which means that for every Israeli, only 6 Palestinians being killed. So when people argue that, I'm just saying that they're just equalizing the playing field. And can you fucking blame someone for doing whatever it takes to equalize that?
Yeah, it's tough.
But I believe it solely rests on America.
Why is it America's responsibility?
No, I mean, it's America's fault.
Okay.
Because America continues to fund and continues to give arms to Israel.
Yeah.
And if they didn't do that, they wouldn't have the military that they do.
Is anyone arming Palestine?
Yeah, but not in the same way.
Oh, definitely not.
And so, like, I know Egypt was until the Israeli-Egyptian War. I can't remember the name of that war. And then there were some states that do funnel, but on groups like Hezbollah and things like that. But yeah,
it's a tough area. It sucks. The whole situation sucks.
That whole area shows you why theocracy in general shouldn't ever work.
I mean, and it's weird coming from like an atheist perspective. It's all about
the three major religions. All view that area as like a cornerstone.
Sacred,
as sacred.
It's just I don't. That's silly.
Yeah, it is fucking silly. But to me, because so many people view it that way, it shows why it should be ungoverned, like completely. Like, yeah, you have your fucking cities there, go for it. You have your shrine there, fuck, whatever, man. But
they all want their God's shrine there.
Yeah,
they want to rebuild the temple. And once the temple's rebuilt, that's supposed to fulfill the Christians. Isn't that like how it is? Like, or once it's destroyed, or something like that. I don't know. I know that something about something that falls in Judaism also aligns with Christianity, and so Christianity tends to back Judaism because it will fulfill their prophecy of God coming back to Earth or some fucking thing. I don't know.
I don't know either.
You've heard that, right?
I don't know.
No?
I mean, I don't know.
I could be off and whatever. But that's from my understanding. That's why Judaism is so supported by Christianity. Like, at least that kind of thing is because that revelation falls in line with theirs.
Okay. It would make sense.
I mean, because Christianity, it's Judeo-Christian. It comes from the same origin anyway.
Yeah.
It's just an extension of that origin. And then, yeah, I don't know. I think it's fucking religion's interesting.
Religions are way interesting.
Because they're all fighting and they all view the same people as, like, people don't understand this, but the Muslim faith, the Christian faith, and the Jewish faith all have similar prophets. And
they all believe in the same God.
Yeah,
it's all the same God.
Exactly.
It's just different teachings and tenets of that God,
which is odd.
Yeah, it's way odd.
It's like, and from my very brief understanding, it's just an extension. It's like Jewish people don't believe in Jesus, and Christians don't believe in Muhammad. But Muslims believe in Jesus, and
they believe Jesus was a prophet, not the Son of God.
Yeah. And so it's just like an extension.
And I could be wrong on that. I'm not.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. My brief understanding of everything, but
yeah, as far to my knowledge, is that it kind of goes as a stream. Like there was Judaism, and then Jesus came, and that's where Christianity came from, and then based on the same teachings, that's where Muhammad came. And then it's all the same God, only a line of prophets.
Yeah,
yeah.
So why is everyone fucking fighting?
Well, because they believe their bearded man was the right one.
Yeah.
I'm just assuming Muhammad was bearded. I don't really know. I don't even know if Jesus was bearded or he existed, but he's usually portrayed as being bearded. Well, I found out an interesting
fact, Jesus a hipster?
So, I was told that they replaced the video inside the Mormon temples. They have a new video. When you go there, you watch all about Jesus and God and everything.
Uh-huh.
And I was told that I look very similar to the actor who plays Jesus. So
it's awesome.
I'll take that one. I look like Jesus. It's especially with my beard.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh God, the eternal Father. Oh man.
Yeah, I have no idea who or what they look like, but
somebody can find us that video, send it by.
But I think since it's a new one, it would be hard to find.
I know, that's why.
It's pretty new from what I hear. Yeah.
Wonder what that propaganda has to say.
Yeah, it's all weird shit to me. I don't get it.
I remember going and seeing those things. It was so... I think about a lot of the stuff. It's just all a mind fuck. I think... Just looking at a lot of things, from corporations to religion, just the things that people say that it's just so not true.
The hard thing that gets me about all religions, I know Buddhism does this a lot, but so does Christianity and everything else, is that they have the belief that there's more to life, so it's okay to fuck people over. Basically, like, it's okay that there's fucking poor people because there's something better afterwards, and that's just their station. That's what God wanted, and he'll grant them, immortality and all greatness afterwards. Or like when you go into Buddhism and they believe in the reincarnation, and it's just like, well, there's something better next life for you. You got to prove yourself, and you're only poor because you weren't as good in your previous life. It's just a way to justify fucking people over from the core.
Or the fact that most major religions are very fucking patriarch.
The patriarchy.
Yeah,
patriarchy. It's all about maintaining your maintaining the privileges.
That's like when I was a kid, I was always the one pushing because I believed in the Mormon Church is what my faith was. Yeah. And but I would still always question everything all the time, and I'd ask the hard questions as a child. And so, I mean, it's just anyway. Like I would ask why women weren't treated the same way as men, and some of the answers that I got as a kid are just hilarious. Like, well, if women could hold the priesthood, then there would be no need for men.
Or fuck.
Or whatever else, the Doctrine and Covenants they had, not to eat meat in times of winter and famine. I'd always ask about that, and one of the best responses I got were that they didn't have refrigerators back then.
You know what, though?
What the fuck?
Tell me one thing about say this song.
Fuck Zionism. Fuck militarism. Fuck Americanism. Fuck nationalism. Fuck religion. 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 Fuck religion.
This week we heard No Doubt, Spiderwebs,
Propaganda, Hail Lysale,
and as always,
El Comandantes. Which side are you on? If you enjoyed our podcast, please consider going to whichsidepodcast.com and following the Amazon link, as well as becoming a member.
Also, we could use your reviews and ratings on iTunes as it helps us get more listeners. Please go to our iTunes page and rate the shit out of us.
We also have Facebook and Twitter if you want to get on and like us and follow us and give us shout outs. That would be cool.
Thanks to Mari the Booker,
Martin the intern.
Fuck shit
damn.
Hey,
Wow.
hey,
Damn.
that's pretty good.
All
But
right.
fuck religion.
Which Side is produced by the Which Side Media Collective.